What is going on, guys? Crucible here, and today we are going to be returning and checking out Piccolo in today's video. TLDR, just right out the gate. This is not going to be a very serious showcase. If you were here for the live streams when I was doing these matches, you would realize how bad my RNG luck was in terms of pulling the cards that I needed to do well with this deck. Now, I don't want my bad luck to necessarily sway my opinions on this deck. I still think Piccolo is in a pretty good spot. He did get top 32 at the Roanoke Regionals, so I can't say that he's a bad deck anymore. I think he's 100% playable and can even get you into a decent placement at a regional, because clearly we got the evidence to showcase that. But I want to believe that it probably has more to do with who your matchups are and how good your luck is. But anyway, my luck was terrible. I got a couple wins with Piccolo. I got a couple losses with Piccolo. It was about 50-50 or so. So I was just happy that I was able to play Piccolo again after so long. So here's what I'm kind of doing with the deck. We're basically doing the same old that we have been kind of doing. We'd play a lot of draw or cycling just from our hand, some early bodies to kind of establish some semblance of a board that our opponent's got to worry about. Krillin, I think, is a good option for this deck just because he's a deterrent from our opponent to help us ramp, but he has to deal with a 20k swing every single turn. 4 calls Vegeta is in here because obviously we need to be able to ramp on turn 3. And then we got full play sets of the Piccolo and the Goku because we are utilizing the brand new, the brand new extra card, which allows you to play both of them on turn 6. Turn 5 if you're able to ramp efficiently. Yeah, kind of get us set up for the follow-up turn. Then we have, as some extra stuff here, we got 2 of the Double Striker Secret Rare Broly's, because on the off chance that our Piccolo and our Goku are able to stay on the board for a considerable amount of time, and we're able to get this card off, not only does it double heal us by KOing the Piccolo, but it also allows us to draw a card and ramp more off of the Goku, and it's just a really, really strong combo piece with the Piccolos, with the Piccolos and the Goku here. So, outside of that, nothing else too insane really in this particular build. I feel like this is relatively standard. I see a lot of people utilizing, I know the guy that got top 32 had like 4 destructive strengths, 2 gigantic meteors. There's definitely some things and some tweaks that I can do here and there to kind of make it a bit more consistent with having either open energy or something, or ramping efficiently, just something that more here. But I wanted to really just kind of focus on this card in particular and not so much everything else. So, but yeah, that's the deck profile. That's the list. Let's get into the games. All right, so our first match is going to be up against Ginyu. Ginyu was kind of a surprise in the rank ladder. I was kind of surprised to see this deck. Depending on how fast Ginyu is able to push us out, he could actually push us out of... he could actually, stall us out. He can definitely just swing on our face before we can really get any sort of or semblance of ramp going at that time. So, but it's relatively standard. He's going to be playing bodies that we can't really interact with. We're going to be playing bodies or very few bodies and just ramping as efficiently as we possibly can. And just kind of going back and forth until we both are able to get to our awakened states. All right, so we got our Goku. We got our Krillin, and we have a Krillin for turn 2, which we end up using. I decide not to take a life because I want our opponent to wake us up. I don't want to get us anywhere closer down in life to make us more like offensive, right? Or make him more offensive into us. I want to stall out as best as I possibly can against this deck. And we're finding a bunch of things, and now we got our combo piece. So now we have our 6 costs. We are both our 6 costs, and we have our 6 costs here. So technically, next turn, we can actually go out of our way and play both of these. We can play this a turn early. And we won't necessarily get the double swing off of the leader, and the double draw, but we will at least be able to, we'll at least be able to kind of put out some scary bodies that our opponent's really going to have to focus on. Or not even really focus on, but like, you guys know what I mean. Alright, so now the board's starting to get a little scary here. So obviously we have to focus board this turn because there's nothing else that we can really do at this current moment. So we can play this out of turn early. Get our Piccolo out. We can ramp. And now he's down to 3 cards in hand. So now it's going to be a little bit hard for him to actually, like, at least go a little more offensive. He can't just combo like crazy. And for whatever reason, he was attacking into the Piccolo. So we were able to get a heal off that, which did end up helping us. So I was not going to complain about that. And so we weren't at the point where we could blow away board, so I had to play this Piccolo so we could so we can get some swings in. And I want to swing at face so I can get the double draw, and I want to keep my hand advantage high while his is low. And we're going to get a couple of cards back into our hand, so we have some combo power. And we know that this turn he's going to try and do, he's going to try and restand all of his Ginyu Force cards. Because he's got to go for a push, right? Yep, so he restood everybody, and all we have to do is just defend like crazy. And that was just going to be game. So it's a weird matchup. But once we can get up to, you know, that 7 energy, 8 energy mark, like I think the match becomes considerably easier. At least in this particular matchup, because they're going to be thinned out. We're going to have a hand, still have a hand. But I do think the thing that he did there that he probably shouldn't have done was swing into my Piccolo. So that just is what it is. So on to the next one. All right, so our next match is going to be going up against Android 18. Android 18 has definitely been making a name for herself in the current meta, just because she's able to more effectively take out cards on our board compared to how she's been able to do it. The cell chain does a lot of work for her. So depending on how fast they're able to get that chain off, it might actually spell our doom. We kind of have to like wait and see. But we have our combo piece, like turn 1. Like these matches where I end up winning are more or less due to the fact that I was able to see my pieces. So, and unfortunately for us, there's not really anything that we can do about their actual setup here. There's no good means of being able to remove the 18s in a green deck. So we kind of just have to accept the fact that they're going to get 18s on the board, and that's it, right? So the next turn we can go ahead and we can Days of Training, get ourselves up to 4 energy. We have a charge piece now this turn, so, which is very nice here. And I want to just keep... I don't want to swing in the face. I just want to try and keep their hand down. Because keeping their hand down is going to be the thing that allows us to increase our chances of winning. Not necessarily guarantee a win, but it'll allow us to keep us from doing too bad. So they're going to get their cell chain off here. Go down to 3 because there's no real reason to like combo cards. We didn't have any supers, so that was kind of rough for us. Once again, we have to play our combo piece out early because we need to be able to get to 8 energy next turn. Cycle out some energies here so we can start clearing board. And they go ahead and they do a cell chain here. And I don't know why they did that. They swung 5,000 with the Searcher and didn't really combo up or anything. It just seemed like kind of a waste. And so I let this go to get the heal. There's no reason for us not to. Yep, so we put Piccolo out there. Is that double sound? What was that? That was weird. Yeah, we want to get the double draw. We want to keep our hand size up. At this point, I don't necessarily care. He's already got an 18 on board, so just kind of let them get more set up if they really want to. Get some 10k combos back. Now, I did make a misplay here. I probably should have just let them swing into this and KO it so we can get a life back. Then if he wanted to KO our other things, he could. And obviously that was a misplay, but now we're at 9 energy, so now we can do our Broly double strike. And I think I swing with the double striker here because they can remove this Broly. If they remove this Broly, it kind of is what it is. It's whatever. But putting them down to 3 at least puts them on an equal playing field with us, so. Yep, so we just kind of let them do what they want to do. I wasn't going to defend that because they could still self-destruct it and kill it. So I was like, I'm not going to give them the chance to do that. We go down to 1 so that we can play our Piccolo out. Our Piccolo will allow us to do unlockability for free. We want to put them down to 2. But I decided to do this just to keep the board clear. And they had to give us a lot of cards there. But now we can go double strike. And 110's relatively respectable. And they were still about 25k off from being able to kill us there. I was so excited with that win. I was like, man, that was closer than I would have liked it to be. But yeah. So the idea was that if for whatever reason they didn't go down to 2, I was going to unlock ability and just keep going in. just keep my health up. But obviously they went down to 2, so I wanted to push the aggression since we had the setup. So on to the next one. All right, this next one I wanted to just kind of showcase like what some of my RNG kind of was in these particular matches. Like a lot of the losses I had with this particular deck was due to my RNG being bad. In reality, I probably should keep like any hand that has the 6 cost. I think. I forget how this match went, so let's kind of see how this goes out again. So we have turn 1 plays. We have 2 cards we can play next turn. So we saw 3 of our special beam cannons, which obviously doesn't help us. We got Days of Training for next turn. So we can do our Days of Training, get ourselves up to 4. We got a super combo ready to go for the next. We got 2 super combos, so we're set up. The only downside to this particular matchup is that Shallot doesn't swing into us, so us awakening is going to take a little bit of time, right? And then we got another Days of Training, so I think we opt to do Days of Training here. Yep. Get ourselves up to 6. We're still not finding our pieces. We're still missing the blocker. We're still missing the extra. He's got 2 UIs on the board. So his draw power is really just going to start ramping up. We got our second Piccolo. Our third Piccolo, because we charged 1 off of Days of Training. Our third super combo. Still no blocker. Still no extra. We go to 3. We get another Days of Training. We get our double striker, which does nothing for us. We finally have our blocker, which we can now start like going in on our opponent and getting the double draws. And just try to whittle our opponent down as best as we possibly can. We still haven't seen our extra. Still haven't seen it. And the thing being is that I'm choosing to run 3 of them. I think I have 3 of them in the deck. It's just I didn't want to always be seeing that card. We're gonna play it once, no more than twice per game. So we can't play it till later in the match. So for us, it was like, it's like, what else are we gonna do, right? And he's got all his 10Ks. And I think he just decides to go all in. And I think we were just short. Yeah, he went to 160 off leader swing, which is just crazy. Again, not really much that we can do there when he's able to start pumping out 6-cost cards on turn 4. There's just nothing we can do. So, unfortunate, but I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. So, on to the next one. Alright, so this next one's a mirror up against the Namek Goku. I want to showcase this one because I wasn't very proud of this win. I think this was a newer player. For some reason, I got paired down into silver during this match. And my opponent was making some really weird plays. So I don't want this part of the video to be like a, I don't want to fault this player in any way. I want, like, if they're learning the game, if they just haven't played in a while, I want to try to enlighten them, you know, on like just ways that they can kind of, if they end up seeing this video, if they see it. But I just wanted to kind of enlighten and kind of help them if they see this video with like how they can kind of reappropriate their plays here, because this is a little strange, right? So they played the 1-cost Kami here to KO a 1-cost. Not 100% sure why they did that when there was nothing to KO. So I just thought that was a little weird. Maybe he thought that this was a one cost because we were able to play it on turn 1. He kind of did the same thing using marker, so maybe he just thought a little differently. But then he played another one, so I thought that was just a little strange, right? And I do remember, I believe it was in a Drumlin the Dwarf video. I'll tag Drumlin's channel down below. He's doing a free-to-play series with Fusion World. But he made a comment in that video stating that newer players will go and they'll do the training exercises against certain decks, and the AI plays wrong. Like, they basically utilize every piece of energy that they can and don't actually play or utilize their energy optimally. So I'm wondering if this player was doing like training, and they saw how the AI played and saw that, oh well, they had one energy open, they used the energy and they did that, and that's why they played this when it wasn't optimal to do so. Like, I'm not 100% certain. Like, I don't know. But I will say I didn't hate what this opponent did later in this match. Because later on in this match, like, they actually twisted the game around in their favor, and it actually kind of put us in a hard spot. So you'll see here in just a second. It was very, very interesting. So he cleared our board, but then he starts playing the Gregory, Bubbles, and King Kai package. And strangely enough, there's not a whole lot that we can do with our 9 cost on board because of this. So I think we Piccolo here and we Special Beam Cannon so that we can get this Gohan off the board. And again, he starts putting out the blocker package. So now we can kind of start like working into our opponent's board, right? And now he's got double King Kai. So now this is where it gets a little sticky for us, because what he could have done here was he could have blocked with the King Kais here, and he could have kept this blocker up for when we play our double striker, and this would have completely gotten around a double strike into life, right? What he could have done is he could have blocked with the King Kai and gotten he could have gotten a 5 or 6 cost from the drop, right? So what could he have picked up there? He could have picked the Gohan back up. He could have picked the Gohan back up, basically. Which is like the critique that I have is more so that, like, you could have sequenced this just a little bit better by getting the value off of these King Kais. But now, because you blocked with the Gregory and the Bubbles here, I can play my double striker, and these don't mean anything because their effects only go off when you're blocking. So, but it's also very dependent on what he does with this turn, right? So he plays this. He kills our Piccolo. Brings us back up to 4 life. I have to block some of these hits because I don't want him to double strike, thinking that he might have double strike. But he doesn't, and then he stops here. He doesn't swing with the Gohan. So even if he didn't have the double striker, you could still swing into face and potentially feint, give me a feint. Like, maybe I have to take it. Maybe me taking it is a sign that I don't have the combo to block a 20k, right? Potentially. But I mean, he's also down to, like, he was down to 2 cards in hand. So I don't know I don't think that was necessarily the play, though, because now we can just do this. We can get rid of all of his troublesome cards on board, and now he has to use cards on board to combo out and hope that he survives, right? I chose not to swing because I didn't want to give him 2 cards. And he activated ability just to do that, and it was just kind of game over at that point. So... Yep, and now it's just done. And again, I don't know what he has in hand, so like for all I know, it was a super combo. But seeing as he was just kind of taking it, he knew it was kind of over, so. But yeah, I mean, he didn't have a bad build on this particular deck. And some of the playlines that he did in the later game actually kind of surprised me and slowed me down just a little bit. So I think this player ended up having like stuff that could actually have like stalled me out and might have gotten helped to him to get the win. But there was just some plays that were just kind of wastes of energy, wastes of particular playlines. And I feel like that probably ended up hurting him in the end. So just if you're the player that I faced in this particular match, and you see this video, like I'm not judging how you played. I think you actually built your deck very, very well. You just need to see those couple little play lines and just know that sometimes you don't have to use all your energy. Sometimes you just, like if you have an open energy and you got nothing to play, sometimes it is just better not to, play cards, right? But yeah, just some friendly knowledge. Let's go on to the last one. All right, so this last one is going to be against GT Goku, Super Saiyan 4. I put this in here just because, like, it's not often that I get to see Super Saiyan 4 in the rank ladder, so I kind of wanted to just get a little bit of a showcase off for that. Also, I believe this is a game where, like, my luck was just awful. Like, I could not find... Like, look at this hand. 2 super combos, 2 special beam cannons, 3 special beam cannons. We're going to cycle out one of these special beam cannons. Because it's just a dead card in hand. It does absolutely nothing for us. Swinging into face. Got our double striker, which does nothing for us. Our 6 cost extra, which does nothing for us. I want to get special beam cannon back because that way it gives us we can just put it back in. And then we found our 4th and final special beam cannon. So that's just rough. Like, we have no good like early game plays here, like whatsoever. When I tell you guys that like when I lose matches, or that I have a really bad RNG luck, like I'm absolutely serious. My RNG luck is abysmal. It's awful. So like, look, like what can I do here? There's not a single thing that I can do in this particular matchup. So we're going to keep cycling because we need to see pieces. We need to see our 6 cost Piccolo. We need to see our blocker Gokus. We need to see like the things that we absolutely need. Meanwhile, our opponent is just able to build up his board, build up his board, build up his board, and just control ours. So and we got a Piccolo finally, and we got our Goku finally. But the problem is that we don't have our extra. We now finally have our extra, so we can now... Well, we have our extra, but we're way behind. We weren't able to ramp efficiently in the beginning of the game, so... So maybe Destructive Strength is something that we probably need to incorporate in this deck, because we need to be able to ramp on turn 3. We have to ramp on turn 3. And I miscomboed there and then at that point I was just kind of over it. I was kind of over this particular match because my draw luck was so bad and I was just so far behind. Like I was frustrated. So yeah, that was just a really, really bad loss. My RNG in this client can be really, really bad at times, really bad. So yeah, it was just a really, really bad hand that we were dealt and nothing we could do about it. So all right, let's wrap it up. So that is going to do it for the Piccolo deck. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I think Piccolo is a lot more consistent than he used to be in the past. That being said, I feel like this is a very, very RNG heavy deck. We knew how rough it could be in the early days of Fusion World in terms of like how we ramp our green decks, right? If you did like early game green, if you didn't see your pieces to ramp efficiently, you were just behind the entire game. And I think that's still very relevant for Piccolo specifically. You just need to see your pieces. There's definitely things that I can do to make this deck a little more efficient. Again, I believe the top 32 player had like destructive strengths on top of the days of training thrown in there. I wasn't running days of training at 4 of either, so that was also not helping things. I think having more like 2 or 3 costs to kind of mitigate our opponent's board would probably be good. Maybe throwing in the Namek Goku Gohan could be beneficial in here. Maybe putting Vegeta up to 4 would be good. But again, like outside of what I showed you guys in terms of my losses and like my bad hands, there were matches where like I just did not see any of my actual setup pieces for turn 6. I was able to ramp efficiently. I just couldn't do my Piccolo and I couldn't do my extra play with strongest team up. Just couldn't do it. So, yeah, Piccolo I think is very RNG dependent, but I think he's a lot more consistent than he used to be. Definitely a fun deck still. Definitely, if you can get him to pop off, he can pop off. So, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This was just a fun one. I wanted to mess around with Piccolo again after all these, after all this time, and I kind of wanted to see what the top 32 kind of looked like. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next Fusion World video. Peace.